I think one of the biggest threats in the aftermarket is going to be the sheer investment at each point in the supply chain in getting those parts to the service dealer on a regular basis. The massive amounts of SKUs that get introduced every year. For example, we have 40,000 SKUs that we service, but we add 4 to 5,000 every year. So the sheer investment from our perspective, and probably most importantly, the distribution's perspective, on inventory and the stores and how they're going to figure out how to get it in, I think is a big threat. And we need to be able to supply the parts that are needed, and that's been our value proposition. It's always been our value proposition, and it will continue to be as we move ahead and this aftermarket continues to develop. We can never let the service go back to the OE dealer. That's how we grew, that's how we developed, and that is how the aftermarket is going to continue to stay strong. But we are in the midst of really trying to prove out how we're going to be able to handle that. And I think that's one of our biggest challenges, just the sheer investment dollars. From where I sit, and generally I'm a little bit newer into the aftermarket than some, I see a lot of opportunity. I think anytime a market is shifting and changing and moving through, there's a lot of opportunity out there. One of the things I think that proliferation, maybe its biggest challenge, is also a big opportunity to really thwart some of the effects of globalization that could be detrimental in figuring out how to supply those parts to the aftermarket and the service dealers. Those really, we see that as our big opportunity. That's where we're sinking our money and effort and time. And I think the one thing that they're not exporting from any country is the value-added service of getting and servicing our customer base and giving them what they need to help sell their products. And I think going forward, like many other categories and many other companies and industries that have existed, I think the most efficient supply chain is going to end up winning out. And that, I think, is the mantra we need to move ahead with.